Welcome back to another episode of The Daily Threat, your trusted source for the latest cybersecurity news and analysis. Today we have a packed episode filled with critical stories that every business and individual should be aware of. As always, The Daily Threat is brought to you by our valued sponsor, QIT Solutions, your go-to provider for comprehensive cybersecurity services. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with the ever-evolving threat landscape. Let's dive right into today's headlines. Our first story takes us to the world of online scams, where cybercriminals are taking advantage of one of the largest online shopping events of the year, Amazon Prime Day. According to Dark Reading, scammers have devised a new scheme to trick unsuspecting shoppers into divulging their personal and financial information. The attackers create fake Amazon listings for highly sought-after items, such as smartphones, laptops, and gaming consoles, at incredibly low prices. These fraudulent listings often use convincing product images and descriptions, making it difficult for users to identify them as scams. Once a user falls victim and attempts to make a purchase, they are redirected to a counterfeit payment page that closely resembles the genuine Amazon checkout process. Through this deception, cybercriminals collect the victim's credit card details, delivery address, and other sensitive information. To make matters worse, the attackers employ social engineering tactics to create a sense of urgency, such as limited stock availability or time-limited deals, pressuring users into making impulsive decisions without thoroughly verifying the legitimacy of the listing. The risks associated with these scams are significant, ranging from financial loss and identity theft to potential compromise of other online accounts linked to the victim's email address. In order to protect yourself and your business, it is crucial to exercise caution when shopping online, especially during major events like Amazon Prime Day. Here are a few best practices to follow. Always verify the authenticity of the seller and the listing by checking reviews, ratings, and the seller's history. Be wary of deals that seem too good to be true, as they often are. Pay attention to the website's URL and ensure it begins with HTTPS and displays the padlock icon, indicating a secure connection. Never provide sensitive information through unsecured websites or unfamiliar payment portals. Regularly monitor your bank statements and credit reports for any suspicious activity. Consider using multi-factor authentication to add an extra layer of security to your online accounts. Remember, your vigilance and skepticism can go a long way in protecting yourself and others from falling victim to online scams. Our next story shifts our focus to a critical zero-day vulnerability that has recently plagued Apple's ecosystem. Bleeping Computer reports that Apple has released an emergency update to address a zero-day exploit that has been actively exploited by attackers. This vulnerability, known as CVE 2023-XXXX, affects Apple's operating systems, including iOS, macOS, and watchOS. The exploit allows attackers to execute arbitrary code with kernel-level privileges, potentially granting them complete control over the compromised device. This level of access can enable the theft of sensitive data, installation of malware, and even surveillance of the victim. What makes this zero-day particularly dangerous is that it can be triggered remotely without any user interaction, making it a significant concern for individuals and businesses alike. While Apple has promptly released a security patch to mitigate the vulnerability, it is essential for users to update their devices as soon as possible. If you're using an Apple device, we strongly recommend following these steps. Update your device's operating system to the latest version immediately. Enable automatic updates to ensure you receive future security patches without delay. Regularly back up your device's data to prevent potential loss in case of a successful attack. Exercise caution when clicking on suspicious links or opening attachments, as they can be used to deliver malware and exploits. Remember, proactive software updates and adherence to security best practices are crucial to keeping your devices and data protected from the ever-evolving threat landscape. Our final story today brings our attention to VMware, a leading provider of virtualization and cloud computing software. Bleeping Computer alerts us to a critical vulnerability that could expose VMware's vRealize suite to remote code execution attacks. This vulnerability, identified as CVE 2023-XXXX, allows an attacker to execute arbitrary commands on affected systems, potentially compromising the entire infrastructure. The risk posed by this vulnerability is particularly concerning for businesses that rely on VMware's vRealize suite for their virtualization needs. If successfully exploited, an attacker could gain unauthorized access to sensitive data, manipulate virtual machines, or disrupt critical operations. As a result, companies must act swiftly to protect their systems and prevent potential damage. VMware has released a security advisory outlining the necessary steps to address this vulnerability. Organizations using the affected software should prioritize the following actions. Apply the available patch or update provided by VMware as soon as possible. If a patch is not immediately feasible, consider implementing workarounds provided by VMware to minimize the risk. Regularly monitor your systems for any signs of compromise or unusual activity. Restrict access to the vRealize suite to authorized personnel only and ensure proper user access controls are in place. Stay informed about security updates and advisories from VMware to proactively address any emerging vulnerabilities. By promptly implementing these recommended measures, businesses can significantly reduce the likelihood of falling victim to a potential exploit targeting the vRealize suite. That wraps up today's episode of the Daily Threat, where we highlighted the risks posed by Amazon Prime Day scammers, Apple's zero-day vulnerability, and the critical exploit affecting VMware's vRealize suite. We hope these insights have shed light on the importance of staying informed and taking proactive steps to protect yourself and your business from cyber threats. Remember, cybersecurity is a shared responsibility, and your actions can make a significant difference in safeguarding against malicious actors. Be sure to subscribe to the Daily Threat for more updates on the evolving threat landscape and practical tips to enhance your cybersecurity posture. And before we sign off, we would like to extend our gratitude to our sponsor, QIT Solutions, for their continued support. Whether you're a small business or a large enterprise, QIT Solutions has the expertise and comprehensive solutions to meet your cybersecurity needs. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Daily Threat. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and we'll see you next time.